Are you curious what it's like to be here in Green Bay for a home game? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that's like. And we just had the NFL draft this past weekend. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience there, how it actually went down here in Green Bay, especially with Green Bay being the smallest community for the NFL here, and what you should expect whenever you do come here for a regular home game. Let's get started. Hey guys, what's up? This is King Jerome. I'm your local real estate agent here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, as well as your local guide. And like I said in the intro, we're going to get right into it and talk about what home games here are like. So point number one is the vibe. So people are well known, especially in the Midwest. I'm not saying it's not like that anywhere else, but in Green Bay, I know it's like that as well. In Minnesota, with Vikings fans, with Detroit fans, up in Michigan, and all around, people are usually very friendly. But it depends where you go, especially here in Green Bay. The vibe is very, very relaxed, very cool. You don't have a lot of people fighting and stuff. And as a matter of fact, when it comes to fighting and violence, for those of you who've been to many other sporting events, especially when it comes to football, depending where you go and depending on the event, there's usually quite a bit of arrest, right? So on average, at a Packer game, and mind you, I can tell you this from firsthand experience, right? Because I do work in public safety. On average, you might have about 2 to 3 arrests on average per game. During the NFL draft, you guys know how many arrests there were? 1. In the 3 days, 1 person managed to screw it up.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
So that to me in itself was amazing. That information probably changed a little bit maybe after the last night, but the entire time it was extremely, extremely friendly, especially to kids and the events that they were going on. So that ties into my next bit, talking about how family friendly it is. Ever since they created Titletown, so it's an entire district, and I know I've talked about that in other videos in the past as well. You got Lambeau Field, and you got other stuff around Lambeau Field, and I'm going to show you some footage here that I took while we were waiting to get in during the NFL draft. So many businesses, so many things to do. There's even a ski hill. Well, not a ski hill, it's more for like sledding. And during the winter, they'll actually get some artificial snow up there, for people to go sledding down on it. And it's pretty cool. During the summertime, during the springtime, when they do other events, they host all kinds of other stuff in and around Lambeau Field. So with the draft, what they were doing, they were having some contests. They were doing some e-gaming competitions. And all around the city, they were doing like scavenger hunts, a lot of stuff. I'll be honest with you, I did not think Green Bay can actually pull it off, but man, they sure did. They sure pulled it off, and it was honestly a really cool experience to bring your kids. I know a lot of people stayed away, and even in videos leading up to the draft, and I've been saying this since like August of last year, that I personally did not think that Green Bay could handle all of the traffic, but I was proved wrong. I was definitely proved wrong, and I'll be the first to admit it. Because here we like to utilize a lot of parking rides. So they actually came up with a pretty good plan for all of those people coming in. They had all these parking rides and a lot of shuttles going back and forth to the Titletown district, Lambeau Field and all that, back to these parking areas. There's a lot of Ubers as well, but I was extremely surprised to see how uncongested streets were, because during a regular home game, a lot of vehicles will park in side streets and all around the neighborhood in the Schwabenon, and all the nearing streets and in front of people's houses and stuff. On average, people might pay like, $50, $60 for parking. sometimes even 100, depending how close you are during the draft. Well, you don't usually see it at 100, but during the draft, you sure did. There was one house I saw specifically, $250 to park there. But you're literally right there. You know, like their fence butts up to the property fence of Lambeau Field. So, I mean, I get that, you know. But no, it was honestly a great experience. And here I'm going to show you some more footage of where we went. The kids even took some pictures as well. And there was even one point where I got to a little spot where I can see into the actual area where they were doing the draft, because unfortunately, my friend and I, we got there a little too late, and it actually reached capacity. It reached capacity before you get in there. So the amount of people that were out waiting to get in, because they were trickling people trickling in and out, just kind of like in any other venue once it hits capacity, you know. And it's like, you know, you're at the club trying to get in, but it's at capacity, so you kind of got to wait for people to leave in order for you to get in. But, you know, our kids were getting antsy and stuff, so we just started kind of walking around to see what else was in the area. And it was honestly a pretty awesome experience. So if the draft ever comes back again, I highly suggest you guys to come out and come check it out if you haven't had the chance. And if you're planning on visiting Green Bay, make sure you hit up your boy. Let me know. Because remember, I can tell you, if you tell me 2 to 3 things that you're looking for in any specific neighborhood that you would like to live in, you know, whether you tell me something like, I want to make sure it's near parks, it's very family friendly, there's schools nearby, I don't have to do much traveling, I don't have to do much driving, I could tell you literally about 2 to 3 places right now where you can go start looking into that will meet all those criteria. So make sure you do that. Reach out to me, send me a text message. I know it's been a little bit since I made a video, but here we are. So yeah, with that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next video. And if you have any questions, make sure you reach out to me. That's what I'm here for, guys. That's what I'm here for. All right, guys. Talk to you later.